October 21st, 2007 was not the first time I had driven while buzzed or intoxicated, but after drinking with friends in Manassas, I made the choice to drive my soft-top Jeep home to Arlington. Not blaming, but no one stopped me. At exit 66 on I-66, a cab driver saw my Jeep drifting off the road to the right. He watched it hit the exit sign, jump the guardrail, flipping into the air, and finally crashing front end down into a tree. He called 911 as the accident was happening. I had just become a statistic. I wasn't used to that. I've been a competitive swimmer, graduated summa cum laude with a technology degree, was a licensed realtor, a certified IT engineer, and in the year of my accident, had helped a friend start an IT recruiting company. But 28% of traumatic brain injuries are caused by motor vehicle accidents, and half are intoxicated males between the ages of 15 and 24. The problem with statistics is that sometimes your number comes up. Everything flipped with that Jeep. What we couldn't know then was that the moment when I stopped beating the odds would be the one where I would have to start fighting statistics like never before, just to survive and to get to this place in front of you right now. Emergency response team summoned by the cab driver's call intubated me at the scene. I was non-responsive and arrived code blue at Inova Fairfax Hospital. My parents got the phone call. Your son has been in an accident. That's it. Not knowing if I was dead or alive must have made the drive to the hospital the longest 30 minutes of their lives. Before she could see me, a nurse asked my mother if I was an organ donor. Because arriving at the emergency room in Fairfax, I was given a level 3 on the Glasgow Coma scale. No eye opening, no verbal response, no motor response. I think you get a 3 just for showing up. There wasn't much hope that I would survive the next 24 hours. I had a traumatic brain injury. My brain had been tossed back and forth and side to side during the accident. Because of my choice to drive that night, my mother had to make other daunting decisions, like allowing the doctor to perform a craniotomy. He removed a portion of my skull so that the rapidly increasing intracranial pressure from my swelling brain could subside. That surgery saved my life. I had a diffuse axonal brain injury. The deep areas of the brain, namely the brainstem, were damaged. These are the areas that keep you alive. I stayed in that coma, kept alive by machines, instead of my brain for about 24 days. The range of Losamiga scale of cognitive functioning is a way to measure recovery from TBI, that is traumatic brain injury. On day 25, my eyes were open, but there was still no purposeful response to commands. I was at the bottom, level 1 of the Rancho scale. I was 25 years old, and I was facing life as an infant. At the time of the accident, I lived in Arlington with 3 of my best friends. We were young, good-looking, and outwardly mobile. Guys wanted to be us, girls wanted to be with us. Still do, I enjoyed that life, but we drank a lot. I don't think I ever considered the possibility of saying goodbye to it if I drove after drinking. I was a good drunk driver. I could handle it. I was just buzzed, right? Haven't you been there? Have you done it? Or maybe watched someone head out when maybe they shouldn't? Not once did I think, what if I hurt myself? What if I hurt someone else? What if I hurt my brain? I did not stop and think about the risk to myself, to others, or the possibility of life-altering consequences. I was transferred to Mount Vernon Hospital's rehabilitation unit on November 17, 2007, where I underwent intensive speech, occupational, recreational, and physical therapies. We were going to retrain my brain, but it sure wasn't a fast process. It took over a month for my brain to tell my hand what to do with a spoon. One of my first big outings was being wheeled into the hospital cafeteria with my father to get ice cream. Now, with assistance, I could hold the ice cream on the spoon, but I missed my mouth, driving the spoon straight into my forehead. Just picture that. Spoon, ice cream, forehead. Once, hospital staff found still nonverbal me lying between the bed and the window. I decided to rid myself of the need of diapers and head to the bathroom on my own, collapsing to the floor instead. It wasn't just a lack of motor skills, but a lack of understanding of my own limitations. I thought I could do it. I had no self-awareness. but I was relearning the basics of daily living. Guided by therapists, it took 4 to 5 hours a day, 5 days a week, with tremendous support from family and friends. In a couple of months, I worked through levels 1 through 5 of the Rancho scale. I was clawing my way back from the non-responsive me that had entered that emergency room. In the days following the accident, my brother Nate and my friend Jim McNellis set up WeLoveMike.com as a weblog for daily updates. Within 3 days, the blog received over 2,000 visits. Today, the site has had tens of thousands more hits from all over the world because people related to my story. It could have so easily been happening to them. There were thousands of thoughts and prayers willing me to get better. Sadly, I have no recollection of that or the first year of my recovery, but I have read and heard about it. It was not until probably the 3rd year before I began the real process of being cognizant of myself. The mental, physical, and emotional energy required to face another day of therapy without a measure of success is at times insurmountable. I need a nap just to get through the day. Improved self-awareness after a brain injury is a double-edged sword. Depressing? I cannot imagine. Somewhere through this whole journey, the blog stopped being about medical updates and a family's hope for healing and became more. A record that has helped me recreate the past and better understand how so many other people were impacted by my decision that night. It has also been a way for me to help others understand what an injury to the brain is. Because statistically, it doesn't matter how good looking, how educated, how tough, cool, or macho you think you are. A brain injury does not discriminate. My brain injury just didn't go away when I was released from the hospital or the bridge program or rehab. 3 years after that decision to get behind the wheel after drinking, I know my life will never be the same. The truth is, I will always have a severe brain injury. The good news, if there is such a thing, if out of all the things I had going for me before the accident, I also had some of the predictors for a positive outcome: perseverance and motivation, a strong social network and family support, I was strong-willed and determined. I was young and in good shape. All of the things that made me so sure that nothing would happen to me were the things that pulled me up the Ranger scale through therapy into this moment with you. Remember that I am one in 1.7 million people that suffer traumatic brain injury each year. For those 1.7 million, rehabilitation is vitally important because with it, we can retrain our brains. I am very thankful for the resources and support offered through brain injury services. Outpatient therapy can last for weeks, months, or years, and services are not cheap. The cost is at least $60 billion a year. There's no pill, no procedure that will speed it up, but NIH spends only $57 on research per brain injury patient. There is a huge disparity between the need for services and the amount dedicated to research and funding. I am in my 4th year of recovery, and the majority of my time still revolves around rehab. It is hard, like walking through swamp fire, but I am improving. I entered the bridge program at level 6 on the Rancho scale and left at a 7. My speech therapist says that I recently reached level 8, but it may be a lifetime before I hit level 9. Drinking is no longer an option for me, but ironically, the similarities between me being drunk and my brain injury are uncanny. My brain injury affects my balance. I have double vision. Crazy. I have difficulty analyzing people and situations. I may have inappropriate, unfiltered outbursts in public. It takes my brain longer to process information. My short-term memory loss makes it harder to follow directions or stay on task. I perseverate, which means I repeat thoughts over and over and over and over and over again. I'm so easily distracted, which makes it almost impossible to follow directions or stay on task. I would probably have a hard time passing a field sobriety test without a drop of alcohol in my system. Standing here in front of you, I still look like the guy I was before the accident. Hopefully you understand now how wrong that assumption would be. TBI is invisible, but thanks to the Speakers Bureau, I am not. I'm here today with hope. hope for continued recovery. I hope that I make you pause. I hope that I can impact at least one person before they make the decision to drive home, or let a friend drive home after drinking. Let me be the lesson. Trying to beat the odds by driving drunk just gives you a whole new set of battle. My name is Mike Rosner. I'm a 28-year-old survivor of severe traumatic brain injury. I can't imagine my life without the support of brain injury